Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of The Link, brought to you by expforall.net. I'm Blake, and this week we have a pretty decent amount of brand new news to talk about. There have been some pretty cool announcements coming out this week. Actually, a ton, so many that I can't cover them all into one video. Time constraints and whatnot, but I don't want to waste any of your time. I don't want you to waste any of my time. Let's jump into it right now. Hope you guys enjoy. So are you ready to partake on a journey that involves the infinite amount of space, infinite amount of planets, infinite amount of creatures, and I guess infinite amount of gear and loot and items to collect? Well, I hope you are, because No Man's Sky is actually coming pretty soon. The developers of the game, Hello Games, announced earlier this week that No Man's Sky will be officially arriving to PlayStation 4 and PC on June 1st for a price point of $60. One of the developers of Hello Games, Sean Mori, stated, "We've been a little quiet since we showed the game last year at E3, and it's because we've been heads down and hard work on development. It's been hectic but really exciting time for the team. Finishing a game is incredibly hard, but lovely to watch as the pieces fall into place." Now, the title was originally announced to be a digital download only, so originally we were only be able to get it as a digital download, but it turns out that the developers, the company, is going to be releasing a disc model of the game. So if you want to, get the box art and all that other cool stuff, you can do that. However, I'd personally advise that you digitally download the game just for this game, because I love collecting box art and all that other kind of stuff, but this game is supposed to be huge, and I mean giant, like infinite. So odds are, if you want to decrease those loading times, you're gonna want to install that game to your hard drive at the very least, if you do buy a disc base. But I feel like just buying it digitally might actually decrease the load times and be able to travel the planets a lot faster, but I suppose we'll just have to find out when the game comes out. Now, racing games hold a special place in everyone's heart, whether that's Gran Turismo, Mario Kart, Forza, NASCAR racing, whatever it is, and Microsoft knows that, and that's why they are making more Forza titles. That's right, Microsoft has another Forza title up their sleeves. Earlier this week, Microsoft released a small teaser which teased their upcoming Forza title that is currently planned to be revealed during E3 2016's their Microsoft E3 2016 press conference. The company also announced earlier this week that all future Forza titles will be making their way to both Xbox One and PC via Windows 10. Now, that's not exactly that shocking. Now, we've already begun to see a lot of Microsoft titles heading to a lot of Xbox One exclusive titles heading to Windows 10 or heading to PC via Windows 10. Gears of War Ultimate Edition, I believe, is the first one. Killer Instinct Season 3, just Killer Instinct in general, is headed to Windows 10 later this month, actually. I think a few more titles are actually planned for Windows 10. I think Quantum Break is as well. And apparently there has been some talks about future Halo titles being available on Windows 10 as well. So it's really no surprise here to see that Microsoft is planning to release Forza on both Windows 10 and Xbox One. I feel like you'd be able to get a much more richer racing experience if you were to purchase the game on PC anyway. You could buy a really nice graphics card and be able to take full advantage of the awesome visuals that Forza has. So really nice to see Microsoft doing that. I'll probably end up picking up whatever it's going to be, Forza 7 or Forza Horizon 3. Odds are it's going to end up being Forza Horizon 3, since usually they alternate between the years. So one year they'll do main Forza series titles. So Forza 6 was last year, so a new Forza Horizon title or another Forza side game is more than likely to be on the way this year. Now, there were a pretty cool amount of awesome things announced during Nintendo's direct broadcast that took place yesterday. But probably the most notable, or one of the most notable at least, was the announcement of a new Super Paper Mario title. That's right, Paper Mario is back. During Nintendo's direct broadcast that took place this Thursday, the company announced a brand new Paper Mario title headed to the Wii U, entitled Paper Mario Color Splash. Now, basically, I suppose the premise of this game is you're Mario, obviously, and you're trying to breathe that color into a world that currently does not have color. And I just find that a little bit ironic, considering in Super Paper Mario you were kind of taking color out of a world, but now you're trying to put it back into a world. I don't really get it. I don't know where Nintendo comes up with these ideas, but okay, I guess that's the premise of the game. Regardless, though, they did show off a little bit of footage of the game, and it actually looks really crisp on the Wii U, running at 1080p. So yeah, it looks really nice, and the game is actually slated to come out sometime later this year, so that's pretty cool. Hey, Wii U is still running, even though the NX is probably just around the corner, but it's still nice to see that Nintendo is releasing some titles that people have been wanting to see on the Wii U, but haven't been able to, or that they have not announced yet. Hopefully Animal Crossing is next, because I just cannot wait any longer. So if you're one of those people like myself who have always dreamed of playing SNES titles on the go, you know, like via handheld that's not through an emulator, you're probably happy to hear this announcement. Also during Nintendo's Direct presentation that took place this Thursday, the company announced that SNES titles were to be making their way to the Nintendo 3DS eShop exclusively for new Nintendo 3DS. The company announced a nice lineup of titles which will be available to download, with Pilot Wings, Super Mario World, and F-Zero available to download now actually, so you guys can pick those up right away. Super Mario Kart, Earthbound, and Donkey Kong Country are on the way for March 24th. And The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Super Metroid, and Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest coming down the road on April 24th. Now, I'm actually pretty happy that they finally decided to do this. It's not Game Boy Advance titles, and I don't know when they're going to start doing that. When are we supposed to start getting Game Boy Advance titles on 3DS? I know they had that set up for the Ambassador program like a few years back, but I would think by now they would have at least started to release, I don't know, 1 or 2 GBA games via the Virtual Console, but I suppose we just have to wait. And I guess SNES titles on the Virtual Console for 3DS are like the second best thing, but like I said, unfortunately, this is only for new Nintendo 3DS owners, and it's probably due to like hardware capabilities or something like that. You know, the new Nintendo 3DS has a little bit more horsepower, so I'm not really sure. I would think that the regular 3DS is more than powerful enough to run SNES games, but I suppose they came across some issues. I have no idea, but anyway, regardless, we are getting SNES titles on the Virtual Console. If you haven't picked up a new 3DS yet, you might as well do it now, because it seems like a lot of games that are coming out, and as far as the future of Virtual Console is concerned, some of these titles are probably only going to be available for new Nintendo 3DS. You're not going to want to miss out on that. But anyway, that does it for this week's episode of The Link, brought to you by expforall.net. Hopefully you guys enjoyed all the awesome announcements this week. We definitely have more news that we've covered throughout the past week, so you can head on over to expforall.net, check all those articles out. We've got some interviews with some indie developers as well that you guys do not want to miss out on if you're into indie games. If you guys want to keep in touch with us, you can follow us on Twitter at expforall. We're also on Facebook. I believe our Facebook is facebook.com/expforall, so you can check us out there as well. But until then, you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week. But until then, keep on gaming, and I will see you guys later. Take care.